Hello everyone, Warhammer here, and welcome back to the Bretonnia campaign for Mortal Empires. Now at the moment we've got a bit of a situation to say the least in this campaign, because if we look at our home province, it's very nice, isn't it? It's very lush and green. You can see the waves going up against the rocks over here, and then we go south, and the trees are dead, strange growths are coming in the soil, and the undead are spreading their vile corruption in the land of the lady. And we want to get rid of this. We need to eliminate this scourge from Bretonnia. Now, at the end of the last episode, I gave you guys the choice. Should I go after the Red Duke and Musalon over here to the coast, or go after the Lich Master Heinrich Kemmler and his Barrow Legion over here to the east? And it got back to me that we should be going after the Lich Master. So today's episode, we're going to be getting rid of the Barrow Legion, hopefully for good, from Bretonnia. Now to do that, we do need to bring my main force over from where we originally went after Gorsel in the previous turn. And we're going to have these guys just come and land on the beach just here. We're not making that much of a difference going that way or going all the way around. It shows you how slow sea travel can be at times. But we're going to come here for the moment, and I'm going to use this opportunity to just do a little swap in the army. I'm going to drop one of the units of Peasant Bowmen, and the reason being, if we're going to be fighting the undead, they don't tend to have really any ranged units for us to worry about. And my peasants here, while they're okay, they're not exactly the best, if I'm honest. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with a couple of units, and I'm going to try and build up the front line. So we're going to go instead for another unit of men-at-arms. So these guys have got better armor than their companions, the spearmen-at-arms. And they do have a little bit better stats and things, so we're going to go for this one instead. So we can boost our front line a little bit more and hold the enemy in place while our knights charge in to kill everyone. So that's going to be our plan for this. Now, before I end the turn, there is two things I made a note about after the last episode. Number one is our research. At the moment, if you guys remember, we're researching the heraldry of Artois, so we could have confederated with them. Not really an issue anymore, is it? So after that, I thought maybe about going down this part of the research tree so we can eventually confederate with Carcassonne, which is the faction out of all the Bretonnian dukedoms I want to side with the most. We will try and confederate with as many of them as we can, although one or two of the dukes may not be too happy about it. We'll just have to see how it goes. But that would be the one I would like to go for, and so we could go down this way. But this one caught my fancy instead, and that is going for the Death Script Decree instead. So, the king has decreed that the threat of unliving incursions be foremost in the collective mind of the kingdom. So, for our diplomatic penalty, we get extra chivalry for every victory we have against the vampire counts, which does include the Red Duke and Musalon, as well as the Heinrich Kemmler's forces. It gives me extra leadership, it gives me less attrition from vampiric corruption, and eventually when we can actually recruit Pegasus Knights, we can get Fastric Skylance, apparently a more powerful version of the unit. I don't know what they're like, we're going to find out. But I think this could be a little bit of an extra boost in our side. So we're going to go and research that. It's going to take a few turns, but it will be done sooner rather than later. And that's going over to here. The other thing is I wanted to upgrade one of the settlements. Now, I was thinking about actually spending the money over here on the barracks. But it's not going to be much use to me. The two units we get, men-at-arms and spearmen-at-arms with shields, we need a smithy for both of them, and we can't recruit that until we build one. So what we're going to do is save the money and instead upgrade Marienburg. It's currently one turn away from getting 2 population surplus, which is what we need to actually upgrade this to a tier 3 settlement. And after that, we can eventually save up to upgrade the docks to a harbour, so we can double our income, our growth, and actually start making a bit more trade resources on the map as well. Very useful indeed. So we're going to do that eventually, but we'll just have to wait out our money for one turn. So let's end this, and see what the Lich Master is going to do next. Now, something I get an opportunity to talk about as well, if you haven't checked it out yet, I recommend it, especially if you're interested in Total War 3 Kingdoms. And that is the latest video that Total War has done on the espionage side of things in the game. Now, you can check it out on their channel. It was released earlier today. I watched it just before I started recording. And how it's basically decided to go is they've decided to overhaul... Oh, hang on a second. Norska, where are you guys going? You're at war with me, so I'm hoping they're not going to try and come towards Bretonnia, because we may have to fight them instead of the vampire counts. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, yes, what they've done is that they've basically overhauled the espionage side of things with spies, and made it a lot more immersive. What they've basically done, and I recommend checking the video out to get better detail, is they've made it so you get to pick a character to spy on an enemy faction. And what will happen is that that character will become a recruitable character in that faction's hero pool, so to speak. And then what will happen is that the faction in question can use that character in any way they would like to, just like they would for any other character. But as you keep them as a spy, their cover and their sort of false identity becomes higher, and you unlock new abilities you can eventually use for them. So you could, for example, if you had a character that was given charge of a settlement by their faction, you may have it so all of a sudden they hinder replenishment in the whole area because of the fact that they've decided to shift supplies in the wrong direction and that sort of thing. You could even make it so, in theory, you could do stuff like surrender the province to you, which I think is really, really cool. And not only that, it can happen to you as well. The AI can do it to you. And I think that's a really cool thing. I'm looking forward to even more now to play Three Kingdoms when it comes out in a few months. But something else that seems pretty cool, actually, popping up on the side here, is what Chilfoy d'Artois is now available. Now, one of the mods I've got in my collection is one that lets you recruit defeated legendary lords from factions from the same culture. So if I was playing as Norska, for example, and Wintertooth, and the troll character, whose name I can't remember right now, if, say, Wulfric got defeated and his faction eliminated before I can confederate with him, then Wulfric will become a legendary lord recruitable character for my faction. And it's the same with, like, Bretonnia. If the Fae Enchantress gets defeated, then I can always recruit her like that. But I did find a mod that was released earlier today by the same guy that made it so Mixu's Legendary Lords Pack 1, I believe, is also available. So now we can get things, it seems, like Chilfoy, who's one of the custom characters for Mixu's pack, as a Legendary Lord now we can recruit in our faction. That's going to be really cool. We're going to have to check him out. But first of all, let's go through that, and... oh, hang on. Oh, Leoness has been defeated, so their Duke has now become available. 2 Legendary Lord options. We're going to have to check them out in a minute. First of all, though, let's start sorting this out a bit. So Norska's coming down here. We'll have to keep an eye on them. But for now, we'll continue to march towards... hang on a second. Does that not make any difference? It does make a difference. Let's just march you over here for now. And you should be within striking range of Artois next turn. Oh, nice full stack. Should be all ready to go. We need to upgrade you, my dear. What can we give you? I really do want to go for Chain Lightning. It's one of my favourite spells from the Law of Heavens. But I would like to have a bit more magic right now. So I'm thinking go for Evasion. And let's go for Magical Reserves for that extra power reserve. Eventually then we can maybe go for Earth Him for the miscast chance, or go for Chain Lightning and probably upgrade Wind Blast. That can do a lot of damage if you do it right. So something for us to bear in mind. So we'll do that. We're going to pop over to Marienburg now and start upgrading it to a tier 3. It's going to improve the garrison even better now. And one of the priorities I want is to build walls here. So if we do have threats from the Empire, or even from things like Norska trying to come down, at least we'll have a decent garrison here to try and hold them. Corian should be able to hold itself pretty well, but Langil here is going to be a problem. We'll have to just keep an eye on Wulfric here and see what he's going to do. But otherwise, it's really just my turn already done with, basically. There's not really much we can do at this moment in time. We're waiting for Corian to upgrade so we can get eventually the Grail Shrine and Smithies and so forth. Once we get to 2 population growth, we can upgrade Langil to tier 3, and so we can start working on upgrading our fields. So all the stuff we need to do, we just need to wait for some money. Oh no, there is 2 things actually. 1, let's check out these lords just to double check. So here's our lords and prophetesses we can normally get. A variety of different ones here. Ah, here we are. So you can get Chilfoy de Artois, the legendary lord, and we can get Adahad for DLNS. Very nice. Definitely something to look into doing as time goes on. We'll wait and see. So that was that. The other thing I want to do is pop onto here, because now we can recruit a new character. Because we've upgraded the stables, we can now get paladins, excellent fighters. I tend to prefer using them in armies with prophetesses as my leaders, but they also come in handy when you've got a lord leading it, as well as their effects on the campaign map. But so who do we have as options? We've got Andre de la Saracen, extra weapon strength, okay. Jacen Beastslayer for a 3% ward save, a Hermit Knight, and Brian Dufort, whose Virtue of Noble Disdain gives him a 10% missile resistance. I'm not too worried about the missile resistance right now, so really it's sort of between these two as to who I would like to have eventually in the army. I'm going to go for Jacen. I quite like the sound of the Virtual Penitent. The idea of him being a hermit knight and being left on his own as he wanders the lands of Bretonnia to do missions for his king. But also the fact that we could eventually increase his ward save through spells and that. So when he does join an army, he's going to be a heavy person to try and eliminate. So let's recruit you for the moment. Can't do much with him otherwise, so we'll have him come down and maybe attack the garrison down here at Artois before the army comes in to engage. We'll wait and see. I'd be so glad as well once we get the opportunity to upgrade Langil, because I think I mentioned about it in the last video or two, but it is a little bit of a difference, I guess you could say, with the Bretonnian economy, but also a bit of an annoyance that you can't really upgrade it properly until you get to like tier 3, or at least have the 2 buildings you need. So in Langil's case, we need the fields as well as the mill, that's it. Whereas if you're going for the industry option, it could be the other way around. You think you need the Cotler's Cottage, I believe it is, as well as the Weaving Den. I have to double check that. But it is one of those things, I mean, in theory, we could build those in all our minor settlements. Because in Warhammer, if you've never played it before, what you like to try and do is any of the buildings you have which have a tier 4 or tier 5 aspect, it's a good idea to build those in your major settlements, and anything with tier 1 to 3 and only that level you want to build in your minor settlements, obviously depending on the situation. Anything like resources like Artois here with its wood stocks, say, or ports and things, you do want to bear those in mind as well. But it's just a thing with Bretonnia that to fully upgrade your economy buildings you need to have 2 building slots taken up. So it's not too bad in a minor settlement in the middle of land without a natural resource. But when you want to, for example, trade in marble from Granzintir, if you've got a port like Langil, that takes up a lot of space. Then having the natural resource as well as the other 2, especially with the port, because you can't dismantle those. And if you want to build walls, that's another thing to worry about. So much stuff to spend your money on. Alright, hero's not moved yet. Let's start moving you down here, I think. What's my chances? Let's have a look. To assassinate him, 27%, 35%. Why don't I go after Artois? 50%. Let's try that, and see if we can do some damage against their garrison. Because when we bring in the main force then, they won't have a chance to replenish then, assuming it's not successful, of course. Give it 50-50 and of course it's going to go against me. Typical, eh? Anyway, let's do this. So we're going to declare war. We're going to do this nice and official. Actually, cancel that one moment. Wulfric is coming ever closer. And I am a little bit concerned that if I... On the one hand, I don't want these guys to really try and take advantage while I'm not here. But I am a little bit concerned about Wulfric's force coming towards my territory. I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep him here for the... I'm going to pull him back actually towards Quran for the moment. Just so I can see what Wulfric's got planned. And then we're going to have to see what happens next then. It looks like Heinrich has got a full stack here as it is. So it's not like I'm going to have to worry about him building up his force anymore. But that is a bit of an annoyance. But just have to keep an eye on Wulfric and see what he's going to do now. Such a thorn in my side, I must say. Ugh. Right, so you're marching, it seems, down towards Marienburg. Now, I don't know if Marienburg is going to be able to defend itself as it currently stands. I don't actually know what Wulfric's got in his army anyway, but if it's got anything that can knock down the walls and that, my garrison is not going to be enough to fight them. So I may have to take Leon Lecoeur down here just to be able to defend the settlement. If I'm lucky, he might be trying to move past in order to go after Marienburg or go after the Empire territories. But in this game where, you know, the challenge is for the player rather than the factions, it's not going to surprise me in the slightest if he's going to try and come after Marienburg. So let's get back down here, defend it, and then we can see about coming back and to deal with Artois afterwards.
Not one step further, stranger. You do not walk my lands without my blessing, which you don't have.
What's he got to say? He's decided to declare war on me. Right. Well, there's not much we can do about that, but at least we can bring in Marienburg to help. And from the looks of it on the campaign map, it looks like they're actually marching up that way anyway. Right, well, we let Marienburg do their thing. Their only job, really, was to me vassalizing them to stop them attacking Langio, and at the moment they can act as a buffer to stop any Imperial armies coming down this way without first of all having to fight them. But Marienburg looks like it's decided to try and do an assault against Pack Ice Bay, it seems. Uninhabitable climates, because of it being Chaos Land. Remind me though, if I pop on here, if I went down for Winter Rose, Snow Attrition, is it this one? Yeah, minus 50% casualties suffering from Chaos Territory Attrition. That's something I must say could be quite interesting. Between the Snow Attrition here and everything else, it means that going after Norsko could actually be a pretty valid option later in the game. That's later. For now, let's get you sitting nice and comfy, I think, in Marienburg. And let's see what Wulfric here has got planned. What does he have, anyway? He's got some spearmen, some great weapons, loads of marauders, Ice Wolf Chariot, Skin Wolves, decent generation, and a few more units. I must be honest, I haven't actually had that much experience with fighting Norska. I fought them once or twice with Lizardmen as I had to fight Skeggy, so I haven't really fought them much apart from that. Oh, no, tell a lie, I was doing as the Dark Elves, and it did do a lot of damage to the Norscan factions on the north border of the map in the Vortex campaign, but it wasn't really something I was too big a deal about, because back then that was before the Norscans were put into the game properly. So they just had those crappy units that were really easy to deal with. So yeah, I wasn't too concerned about that, in all honesty. So let's pop here as minutes. Okay, we can upgrade here at least. That would be nice. What can we need another turn, I think. Yeah, I would like to get Grail Shrine and eventually upgrade it to a chapel. So this gives us quite a few things. We get Grail Reliquaries, Battle Pilgrims, Damsels, so we can actually get magic users, including the Life Mage I really want. That's probably the ones I want to go for first, and then going to Smithy though would be a quite nice option eventually too. As like I said, so much stuff to get, not enough money to build them all. And eventually we want to upgrade this so we can get access to... Oh, Gusaroid Countrymen. Interesting. Aeneas Outlaws, but we need to unlock the research first. Polearms, longer spears. Quite a few options. Anyway, let's end the turn and find out what Wulfric's got in mind for us. But with that, the research, going back to that, I think I might have talked about it already. It's it's been a long day today, to say the least, with work. But I have to say, we do have quite a few options about where we can go with this campaign. And once we've united Bretonnia, I will be asking you guys to tell me where would you like me to go. Because we've basically got the whole world open to us in Mortal Empires. And apparently the Battle Legion has declared war on the Beastmen. Interesting. And Wolfgang's gone bye-bye. But no, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So, between our different ones, we can do stuff like we can go after the Dark Elves, we can go down to the Tomb Kings, we can eliminate Sylvania, we can go against Norsca and the Chaos, we can even go after the Vampire Coasts and make settlement on Lustria if we wanted to do that, and help out over there. We've got so many different options we can do. We'll be able to even go down against the Orcs and the Badlands, so many different things. But we're not going to try and fit them all in, because that's going to make for like a dominance campaign, and let's face it, Mortal Empires is just so big, it would take a long time to be worrying about something like that. But for the moment, where we can have a couple of options we can pick from and decide where to go, it will be quite a good option to consider. So definitely something to maybe do in the future. Alright, what's this? Under more slopes, glare. Warriors range danger to hostile lands, blah 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 blah. We can either spend 1,500 in order to get an extra +5 leadership for 3 turns, or we'll just do nothing. We're going to do nothing. We've done a core inventory thing for the rights. So that's this one here. So we can actually summon a brand new army to come over specifically to help out. Might even get to spot it somewhere. As Bohemond. That's Mucilon. Definitely need to go after these ones. Especially now that Artois now been decided to take a wander. Okay, let's have you come in this way now. Looks like Wolfric doesn't want to come in marching through our lands anytime soon. It's fine by me. Let's upgrade this now. Oh yeah, we need to upgrade this as well to Royal Stable so we can get Crested Knights and Knights of the Realm. And Grail Guardians. So many options. Let's go for that for the moment. Then we want to work on getting the Smithy. No, we can actually upgrade that. That's going to cost more money. And I want to build up this so we can get access to a Peasant Bowman with fire arrows, pox arrows for poison attacks. Ugh, so much stuff to spend our money on. Right. Is there anything we can do down here? Let's have you focus on that. Continue to upgrade him while we do this. Alright, let's go for Assassinate and Assault Units, I think. No, rephrase. Assassinate, Assault Garrison. There we go. Is there anyone we can actually do diplomacies? Now, since we've actually encountered Avalon. Midlands, are you willing to do anything?
Approach and make your offer.
No. Okay. Nordlands? What about you guys?
Approach and make your offer.
Non-aggression?
As you say, sir.
Okay, that'll do. Quace, you're not interested. Karak Ziflin, apparently you're not too interested, but you are slowly improving. And you just don't like the fact that we're apparently a great power and you just don't like us.
Of Althwan.
Fine, be like that. See if I care. Okay, one more turn. And then we'll see what happens next. Assuming nothing it does thing, I'm going to have to apologise a bit to you guys. Because as you know, I've got my personal thing when it comes to doing Total War campaigns. So I don't particularly like fighting battles if I know it's very much in my favour. Simply because I don't find them that exciting to me. If it's a sure win, why bother? And I've mentioned about it before, I have seen YouTubers that have fought garrisons with a full stack, which can easily defeat them. But they decide to do it so they can fit in a battle in the episode. And I've never been like that sort of player. I've always wanted to do it that if I do fight it, it's going to be a challenge. And it's not something I feel I need to push in. But at the same time, I know battles are more interested in watching the campaign map. And considering that, at the moment, yeah, it's been the second episode with not any battles. I'm a bit sorry about that, guys. maybe once we start dealing with Heinrich again, we'll hopefully be able to sort this out, because we may be within marching range of Artois at least, so after the end turn phase we may be able to come down and take it, since Heinrich has done a runner. Occupy it, and then we'll be able to push forward then, I think, to take the Barrow Legion out at Blackstone Post. We'll wait and see. Apparently we encounter the Redhorn tribe as well. Technology research. Okay, what's this? Mockery of our vows. Gossipy has spread through the courts that a foreign lord has been openly mocking the Bretonnian vows. We let such a slur stand. We can reprimand him, which will give me 80% decrease from our income. Or just ignore it and give me minus leadership. I'm gonna reprimand him. I'm not making that much money from trade, admittedly, and no one should be slurring the vows of Our Lady. No one. Oh, we're just slightly out of range. Damn it. Fine, let's pop you in here, and then we'll sort out going after them next time. Let's continue fighting the garrison in the meantime. No? Bugger. Well, at least upgrade that. We'll go for assault units, I think. There we go, that improves the success chance by 6%. Extra casualties can be done by all of that. Research available. We'll start working our way down towards the heraldry of Carcassonne, I think. We would like to eventually start looking on to the economy side, but for the moment I think we'll have focus on uniting Bretonnia first. So we'll make sure to focus on do that to begin with. Right. Another couple of turns we can eventually get access to the docks. No, not docks, the smithy. But we want to build that up first so we can get the town sorted out. Right. Control. Construction cost. That would help out a little bit, in fact. Let's go for that for the moment. Corsair, you'll find here this has been built up. How much is it going to cost for these? Gives me Trebuchet, Knight Errants, Bowman, 2,500. Again, another thing to do. And it feels a bit weird. I've been playing a lot of Shogun 2, as you guys know, on the channel, and one of the things you can do if you need more money is just boost up your taxes. And unfortunately that's not really a big thing, as far as I'm aware, in Warhammer. If someone turns around and tells me, oh yeah, you can lift up your taxes, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. I really will. I don't believe it is a thing. You can, you know, choose to untax a province. I know about that. But I don't know if you can, if there's any other thing about it. What's this? Oh no, I don't think that was for me. Carcassonne has now declared war on Togovan, which is one of the Wood Elf kingdoms, if I remember right. Is it kind of bad that I'm not exactly holding my breath for Carcassonne to defeat the Wood Elves? I think it can go either way depending on how the campaign is. I mean, I've seen it go both ways when I've played a bit of Warhammer 1 in the past. And hey, if Carcassonne gets defeated, at least I get my fair Enchantress that way. Right. Still need to go after the Red Duke in Musalana at some point. If we're confederating down the path that we're going to do with the research tree, that actually works out thinking about it, because we got Baston here, which is the one that is the option that comes up after you've researched it, from doing Lyonesse. So we could actually recruit these guys eventually. Ah yes, you did try. And you failed, good sir, you failed.
True Bretonian.
Can we return the favour? No. Of course. So he's been wounded in return. A critical failure. I thought he had a reasonable chance of doing the job. Oh well, let's get some payback. Let's pop on here. Let's declare war on these guys. Marienburg is helping us, of course. Alright. So you see, like, this is a battle so much in my favour. I'm just going to auto-resolve. We took a few casualties, admittedly, but we managed to get in. We're going to We could liberate and bring Artois back, but I'm not too bothered about that. Raising it will give me extra chivalry and a little bit of cash, but it is one of our own settlements, so we're going to bring it back. Now got Crusader, extra chivalry, 10% campaign movement, that's useful, and extra 20% reduced casualties from all attrition. All attrition, right? Think about the possibilities now for Leoncoeur's force with this one trait, right? Skip through here, War Banner, okay, Court Jester, fine. But think about it like this, if I pop one here, say for example I wanted to go after Chaos, and actually invade Chaos's territory to the north and capture it. I at least go through it, right? By going through these, I get a 50% casualty reduction from, say, researching this one. And with that other one, it's an extra 20%, so all of a sudden I'm saving 70% of the casualties I would otherwise take from being in Chaos territory. But some of the ones as well, like we've now done Death's Crypt Decree, which gives the 25% casualties from vampire territories. This one does the same for the Vampire Coast. So between these two now, and that one trait, I can get a 70% reduction in my casualties because of Vampiric Corruption. That's very good. Definitely want to keep using that in the future. Now, what we're going to do with Artois. Well, first of all, I'm going to dismantle the recruitment. I don't really need any extra stuff for men-at-arms. We'll just let that happen. We do have more corruption going on in the area. That's unfortunate. We may have to kill off those agents eventually. Let's sort him out first of all. Oh yeah, the Ladies Champion. By taking this one, we can actually give Leoncoeur regeneration. So we're going to definitely give him that. We finished upgrading all the lowborn militia, so now all of my peasants, melee troops have got extra leadership and melee defense. So let's improve him a bit, I think. Devastating Charge could be quite nice. Extra health I think could do even more. Let's give you that for the moment. Florence, we can do the same. Let's go for a point in Wind Blast. And for that Chain of Lightning I want. Everyone else is going to replenish, with the Knights being done probably by the end of next turn in fact. Maybe a little bit longer for these two. That's okay. Alright, let's not tax us right now. It's only 49 coins. It's not really a big deal, is it? But now I need to make sure my agent comes back so we can actually go after Blackstone Post in the next episode. And if I'm lucky, the Heinrich and his force is going to try and come out from Blackstone for us to fight them in the open field. I suppose what we can do is wait and see what they've got and fight them. Now, assuming they haven't lost, because I have played as Heinrich a bit in the past, and I have seen Surreal Beliefs doing it in one of his latest Warhammer Let's Plays, using the Closer to Tabletop mod, but out of interest. And two of the units that Heinrich starts off with are ethereal units. He gets a unit of Hex Waves, and a unit of... Oh, you're going that way. You cheeky devils. Okay. That's fine. You want to go after Marienburg? So be it. We'll just have to march over there and kick your butts. But anyway, they start off with a unit of Khan Waves and a unit of Hex Waves, both of which are ethereal troops, which means they take a much less damage to attacks when you fight them, unless you have a magical weapon. And at the moment, the only unit that has magical weapon is Leoncoeur. So maybe I may not have to charge him straight into a unit of Hex Waves or Khan Waves by himself, but it might be something we may have to consider doing. But that's all going to be happening probably in the next episode, as we've gone over the 30 minutes time. But if things work out, we're going to be eventually doing a battle against Heinrich and his force, as they seem to be marching right now towards Marienburg. So we want to go after there and get him, if we can. So once he's been defeated, we're going to come down to Blackstone Post, conquer it, and we're going to have to look then into trying to sort out the attrition or the vampiric corruption issue that's in both of these provinces. So we've got a few plans to do, and then we're going to have to also go after Musalon at some point. But like I said, that's all going to be happening in the next episode. So for now, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you join me next time. Otherwise, goodbye for now.